Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Another video showcasing the incredible custom work by Fergo on Instagram. Going to be taking a look at all of the 1/6 scale weapons I have from the new Halloween trilogy that we're currently in the middle of right now. So this weapon here is made by Fergo. It's all completely metal, very nice weight to this one, and obviously I'll be posing the figure here with all of the different weapons during this video and trying to have some fun and just getting some cool pictures taken. I'll put them on my Instagram at dknight333, so check that out. Join up and follow me on there. But Fergo just does amazing work. I've already done a showcase video now on the Scream knife for my Ghostface figure by Sideshow. That's really enhanced that figure, so make sure you check out that video if you haven't seen it. It's just a couple of videos back. But this is obviously the hammer that he picks up, which we saw in the trailer, with the long kind of tracking shot. So metal, wood, just incredible work. Here's the kitchen knife that he picks up once he drops that hammer, and that is absolutely incredible and very sharp, even along the blade itself. That's like really sharp as well, so be careful. And really nice weight to it because obviously it is metal. And the fire poker, which is metal and just beautifully painted and weathered, as you can see. Look at it. I mean, it's just the shrunk down real thing. It really is. I mean, I can't describe his work any better to you. It's like he has some kind of shrinking machine that he just puts the real thing. He just gets a hammer from the shed, chuck it in there, close the door, 1/6 scale. Is that right? Job done. That's what he's up to. He must be. I don't know. His work is just amazing. Like, how do you make that? I don't know anything about this, this side of the hobby, creating things like this. Maybe there's machinery that does it for you. I don't know. Maybe maybe it's a combination of different things, but his work is just absolutely insane. And you can hear how chunky and metal it is. So yeah, drop a like on the video, folks. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and enjoy the pose session coming up now with this guy. Alright, now I'm just going to start out with the kitchen knife. So I'm just getting him set up, just making sure the posture's looking good. And I was just kind of leaning back here looking at it and thought, well, it looks nice from back here, so I'll just get a little bit of that for you. Let you see what I see, feel what I feel. Look at that thing, man. It's Mr. Sheepy Shaperson right there. Coming out for the 31st of October. Getting it done once more. It humbles thee to be in its presence, to share its space. I got the light looking real nice at the moment, so I'm going to give you a little showcase session on the head sculpt as well. Again, it's the repainted Tots 2018 figure head sculpt. I just did a bit of dry brushing on the hair to make it a more light brown, and did my best to paint the mask and not cover up any of the cracks, because the kind of indentations in the sculpt for the cracks are not that deep. So it's I don't know, there's a few ways to do it, and usually in this case I just paint the whole mask like the off-white color and then get in with a black wash or a brown wash and get into the cracks that way and bring them out a bit more. But I didn't quite have the cojones to do it that way with this sculpt, because I only had the one, and if I screwed it up, I'll screw it up and have to get another figure. So I did this technique instead, but I think it looks great. I love it, man. So I'll give you some pictures of this. You can check out the paint job a bit better. move on from the knife in a sec, just give you a couple more angles on it. But definitely elevates your figure to another level having the real knife. It's very dangerous though. Make sure you've got to be careful. If you've got any kids running around, you really got to keep them away from this, because it really is a shrunk down knife. It's just as sharp. This knife, in reality, I forget the actual name of the one they used in the movie, but it's notoriously really sharp. Anyone who's got it on YouTube who's done a video on it always really stresses that. It's ridiculously sharp knife. So, you know, be mindful of that. But that just looks amazing right there. So, we'll move on now to, I think, the hammer. But I've taken lots of pictures, so again, don't forget to jump on Instagram, follow me on there. You can see all the pictures I'm taking in between little bits of footage that I'm doing now. But there you go. Alright, now moving on to the Shadow Fergo hammer, and it's fitting into that hand that's actually meant for holding onto the Tots hammer that comes with the figure, and it's holding onto the Shadow Fergo one quite well. I was expecting it to be quite loose in this particular hand, but it's holding onto it just fine. But you really can't beat this detail. Let me zoom in for you. Just check out the weathering, the use. Doesn't look like a brand new hammer. Looks like an old hammer. It's been sitting in that shed for a while. He's holding on to it there, getting ready to do his work. Alright, so with the hammer, might as well go for it and do a nice big, bringing the hammer down on top of your kind of pose. Got the lighting nice, you can see I'm trying to backlight the figure. It's always nice if you can try and get a bit of light coming from behind, or at least from the side, slightly pushed behind the figure. You know, it just helps highlight the hair. As you can see, it's kind of catching the highlights of the hair and bringing out the details of that, not making it look so flat. And yeah, it's just nice. It's nice for the weapon as well. You can see there's a nice kind of light glow around the hammer, highlighting it. Obviously got my light coming from above, plus the lights in the room as well. They're kind of pointing behind him. You're getting a nice warm glow from the back and from above coming down, and the more kind of white lights from the desk lamps here. But yeah, that looks good. The Shadow Fergo hammer looking good. I'll take some pictures of that. Put them on the ground. I'll just come back a little bit, let you get a better view. It's a really nice pose, and I followed through with the paint on his arm on the body that I'm using, so that it blends in nicely with the, even painted the wrist peg as well, gave that some blood and kind of weathering, just so it all blends together a little bit better. So it doesn't quite bother me so much seeing the wrist peg, because it all kind of just follows through. Now, I do think it's pretty much an essential accessory for Myers, but bearing in mind the Tots figure does come with a hammer, and this is the Tots hammer here. However, I have added a bit more fake blood and made it look a bit more wet and shiny using clear nail polish, and yeah, just some different tones of red, a bit more of a fresh bright red there from where he's just struck. Didn't do anything to the handle of the hammer, but yeah, I mean, Tots do give you one, and that is awesome. And that's really nasty looking as well. It's just the I mean, honestly, I'm sure Shadow Fergo has done his research and he's replicated that hammer from that scene perfectly, but I'm no expert on that hammer. I really haven't scrutinized it too much, so I couldn't tell you exactly which one dimensions wise and all that is more accurate. It was quite a hefty hammer that you picked up, so I don't know, but either way, I wanted to have Shadow Fergo's hammer. You know, it's just so real looking. So, and bear in mind, folks, like I've said, I am using the Tots head sculpt and the Tots hands, but I have repainted my head sculpt and the hair. Basically, you know, I'm pretty sure I've done a video explaining how I painted the head. but it was very nerve-wracking. I find it a lot easier to repaint the head on my 1978 Tots figure, which is over here at the moment, because that's a lot more simple. And I'll just bring him over for a sec. I've got two of these heads. I have one just a kind of pretty much a stark white, which I think is this one, and then the other one's got more weathering on it. But I wanted, after seeing the Tommy Lee Wallace video on the Sean Clark channel about how the original mask was created, and it was basically just white and the shadows did the rest, I wanted to have a sculpt like that. So I love the way that looks. It's just perfect. And let's just talk briefly about sculpted hair. A lot of people, it's like when I put up the video on the upcoming Tots Halloween 2 Dick Warlock Michael Myers figure, so many comments in the comment sections from saying, oh, I'm glad they're making it, but I'm not going to get it because it has sculpted hair and I wish it had real hair and all this. I've got to tell you, man, as someone I've spent a lot of money and I've had a lot over the years, many head sculpts of Michael Myers from various movies, from different artists. And, I got to tell you, I'm loving sculpted hair because it's just sculpted perfectly, especially on the 2018. Very hard to capture that and get it right. But Justin Mabry and Alex Ray working together to make this absolutely perfect. From any angle, it's shaped, pardon the pun, but yeah, the hair is shaped exactly right. The way it just kind of dips right down there, and the length, you can see the length sort of nice and short, not too long, like, as the actual strands, and the way it the shape of it kind of from the front, the way it gets a little bit higher in the center and then starts to come down tighter around the sides. And it does have some subtle horns. If the light catches it right, you can see them sticking out. The 78 sculpt has a little bit more horn action, as it should do. You can see, one there, two there, another one there. But I just love the sculpted hair on these Myers heads, because I know from experience, like I said, from years of experience, fiddling around with that real 1/6 scale hair on the Myers heads and trying to get the horns looking right and trying to get them in scale, trying to figure out what product to use on the hair that's going to look right and not look really too much like you've used too much gel or too much this or that, or hairspray, whatever the case is. When it's sculpted perfect, I mean, look at that. I mean, particularly with the 2018 sculpted hair, I know Alex Ray and Justin Mabry are both responsible, but I'm not too sure who handled the hair specifically or who. I'd love to know more about that. One day, if you're watching, folks, it'd be great to get you both on the channel and just talk about things like that, because I love those kind of details, like finding out, like, how long did it take you to figure out the shape of the hair, and did you go back and forth about it, and especially with the 78 as well, because it's so important. If you get the hair wrong on any of these, it throws the whole thing off. It doesn't matter if the mask is perfect, the hair has to be perfect as well. One strand out of place and it just it's true. Oh, anyway. But yeah, the point is, sculpted hair is excellent on these heads, man. Really excellent. I love it personally. But yeah, coming back to the point I was making about just what you're looking at here, in case you're wondering. Like I said, repainted the Tots head, and you've got the Trick or Treat Studios hands on the figure, but the body is different. That's a taller, thicker body, and the coveralls they're made by the same person who is responsible for the Trick or Treat Studios coveralls. She gave them the blueprints to make them, but these are actually by Tanila from Tanila's Customs, and just amazing work. So these are slightly bigger than the ones you get with the Tots figure, so that's why it all works out, because just proportion wise, he's 6'3", Mr. James Jude Courtney, so he needed to be taller, so I've made that happen. And you've got the accurate boots and just accurate coveralls, accurate proportions, dimensions. It's all good now, man, and I'm just so happy with this piece. It is really just something else. So let's move on now to the fire poker. Going to save the best till last, because I'm so excited to see this in action in the movie Halloween Kills. But let's go to the fire poker. I don't remember him actually taking anyone out with this, but I know he picked it up when he came into the house, but I just don't remember him actually finishing anyone off with it. But let's pose him up, see how he looks. Alright, now getting him to hold on to the fire poker here with this particular hand that I can't really find the other one, so I'm stuck with this one for the moment. But he can hold on to it. You kind of have to push it in and then turn it and get it to wedge under his fingers there, these fingers. But it's doable. Doesn't he just look friggin' very accurate to the movie? Just an amazing piece put together here, folks. I mean, the tot sculpt, the coveralls, it's just any angle. It's just undeniable. Especially that angle right there. I mean, I'm really seeing him from the movie there. Incredible work. Right, so let me just zoom in here. Let me get the light. The light. Let's just get in there. You see some of that? Amazing detail. Really nice weight to the accessory. Fire poker here. Alright, let me take some pictures. Alright, so I think of the moment as he picks up that fire poker as kind of the same kind of moment, or near enough, to when he first got those fingers blown off with the shotgun. So it's a pretty cool pose to have him kind of holding the fire poker down by his side there, but looking at his freshly wounded hand thinking, God damn it. And that's kind of the only pose I want to do with the fire poker here. I've already done the whole raising the hand above the head with the hammer, taking a strike at your pose. I don't want to repeat it again, and I really think this accessory goes well with the moment when he's just lost those fingers. So having him standing there holding the fire poker down by his side and looking at the missing digits, I think that works pretty well. I'll definitely take a picture of that, stick it on Instagram for you now. But really glad to have the fire poker. Didn't use it much, but certainly is a different kind of weapon to see with Myers, and it is movie accurate, so I'll take me some of that. Yes, sir. Who wants to see the Halligan tool being used? Man, the weight of this. Just a heavy piece. Hear that? Let me do it for you one more time. Ooh, that's heavy. Hey? What? Alright, now here he is with the Halligan tool. Now I hope I'm saying that right. I've heard a bunch of people say it a bunch of different ways. I've been calling it a halogen tool for the last few videos, but I think it's actually Halligan. Correct me if I'm wrong. But there he is holding it. Now unfortunately I don't have the Halloween Kills sculpt, but that's close enough for now. You just have to imagine what that would look like with the left side of the mask burnt and crispy, and a bit more burning and nastiness on his coveralls. A few rips and tears, I believe, from what I've seen. But this is probably the best of the bunch as far as all the Shadow Fergo accessories go for the 2018 look. It's just a very intimidating piece of kit to come with the figure, man. It's got such a weight to it. It's really sharp on that spike bit there. I'll watch out for that. But just awesome looking. So I'll try a couple of little poses here, and then we'll be done. But definitely check out Shadow Fergo on Instagram. Send him a message. Place an order with him. I definitely recommend this, because once the figures start coming out, I mean, obviously you'll probably get plastic versions of this from different companies, but this is the real deal, and it does, you instantly can tell the difference. It's a very, very impressive thing to see in front of you in 1/6 scale. Alright, getting posed up like the moment in the trailer where he first steps out of the house when it's burning. The firefighters stare in disbelief at what stands before them. The shape lives. He does not die. Holding on to the Halligan tool, looking absolutely swish. Let's just turn this a little bit. I want to see that spike action. There we go. Kind of just wedge it under his good thumb there. He's missing 2 fingers, don't forget, so he has trouble holding on to that. But there you go. fact, I'll get you some close-up footage of the Halligan here. His hands. Yeah, that bit looks particularly nasty on the end there. I mean, not as nasty as the business end. That's where you get most of your purchase. Bang for your buck. Results. Whatever you want to call it, but you can see the light bouncing off it. You can see the finish. You can see the quality. Swing, bring that down on your thing. I mean, the pointy bit here, that's coming towards you. So that's the last thing you see. That looks pretty badass. Perhaps that's the thumbnail, folks. I think I've just found it. Yep, right there. That's the sweet spot. Alright, I'll be back. I've got to take some pictures. I'm gonna finish up with him just looking at his new toy and appreciating it and thinking how wonderful it is. And it just occurred to me, obviously at the end of that scene, this Halligan tool's probably going to be pretty gnarly looking, so I could always use the one that comes with the Tots figure and just really bloody it up and keep this one minty fresh, I think, clean. You wouldn't want to go, I mean, you could do, it's up to you what you do with it once you buy it, but I will not be, more than likely won't be painting this, he says, not having seen the film yet, so we'll see what happens. But that looks great. From any angle, I mean, look at that. Let me get the camera to focus on Myers' face and his face alone. That just looks spectacular. So, like I said, folks, Shadow Fergo on Instagram. He's your man. We've got plenty more showcase videos to bring you on his work. Got some Jason Voorhees, machete action, and what else? We've got a Batman Batarang from Arkham City that he made. That's incredible. And Halloween 2 Dick Warlock stuff, like the Elrod knife. Some cool bits and pieces. But drop a like on the video, folks. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Don't forget to do that. Hit the bell icon next to the subscription button. That way you'll get emails every time I upload a new video. And you won't be late. Join me on Fridays, 8 PM UK time, for live stream action, where you can chat with me and we can talk about all things figures and movies and music and just whatever tickles your fancy. But thank you again to Shadow Fergo for such amazing work. Really has enhanced my collection, there's no doubt about it. And I thank him for being just a good friend and an amazing artist. And thank you all of you out there in the Myers community for your support on the channel and the love you send my way in the comments and stuff. So really do appreciate it, guys. I'll see most of you on Friday for the live stream, and take it easy. See you soon. Bye bye.